Hey guys, what's up? So some of you might remember about a week ago I posted a video with some Sonic Adventure 2 sound effects that I had manually recorded using a PC version of the game, Fraps, and the SA2 mod loader to silence all the music and the voices. And I did this because I didn't know of a way to actually rip the sound effects from the files of the game. I knew generally what I needed to do, I just didn't have a working program to do it. Everywhere I looked, it seemed it was not there. But thankfully, right after I posted that video, about maybe less than an hour or so, Supersonic16 on Twitter, shout out to him, he's the whole reason this is possible, he linked me to a working version of Street Fighter IV Audio Manager, which is the program that is used to rip sound effects like this. And I was able to do it, so now I have ripped all the sound effects from Sonic Adventure 2. And some of you might be asking why this isn't anything like I usually do. Well, I've wanted these sound effects for quite some time, especially being in, having to do with stop motion. I work with sound effects all the time. And I wanted sounds from this game for a long time. I just never saw them online for years. It seems like just no one has ever ripped them. So I took it upon myself to do just that. And I didn't just rip the sound effects, I actually went through and named everything and organized everything into their own folders, and named everything, like, because if I just left them as how they were normally, it was just numbers and gibberish. And, I know the pain of downloading a pack of sound effects that is exactly that, with no names, and just having to go through and find what you want to find. So, I'm just as much of a user as this kind of stuff as anyone that downloads it will be. So, I wanted to do that on my own. I wanted to name everything. I also put some sound effects back together, like the conversion process kind of splits some sound effects up. Some of them it does that because they're loopable, as in the beginning sound will be like the sound effects starting, and then the second one will be the loopable part that you can just play over and over again. So those I left in, I just left as two parts, but there are some sounds that got split into two for almost no reason. So yeah, there are a bunch of links in the description to download all this stuff. Now, I'm going to get to how exactly I did all the ripping just after I explain this, but I figured this is what everyone cares about, so I'm going to get to the downloads. So the very first download link in the description is going to be to the pack of incomplete 258 sound effects that I recorded myself. The reason I'm keeping it up is because some of the sound effects that are loopable, I actually recorded, like, say there's a sound effect that only lasts 1 second, but it's loopable. There's, I recorded versions that are like 10 seconds long that you can use instead. Also, I think some of the Chao voices, like the voices the actual Chao make, recording that I did actually sound better than the files of the game. I have no idea how that's even possible, but they do. So yeah, that's the first link you're going to find down there. The second link is what I've been, ripping and naming and organizing. It's the pack of all the sound effects from the game. There are a few voices in there. There's some Japanese in-game voices, all like the, Sonic jumping and the little tiny voices used in the levels. And then there are also the kart racing voices, both in English and Japanese, and there are also the two-player Chao Walker voices as well. So yeah, that's what that second link is. It's all the sound effects, all the character sound effects, all the level sound effects, all the cutscene sound effects, all that stuff. So that's gonna be the second link you'll find down there. The third one, and there are Mediafire versions of these, and there are Google Drive versions of these. In case anything ever happened to the Mediafire ones or the Google Drive ones, I want just a backup for you guys, because I know it must be infuriating when you find a link to something and it's broken. That's what I ran into several times trying to get a program that would rip these sound effects. So yeah, there's going to be a Mediafire version and a Google Drive version of all of these. So the third one is actually, I didn't rip these myself, but it's a pack of all of the English voices used in the game. Now, like I said, I did not rip these, so why am I including them here? Well, I wanted this video to be a one-stop shop kind of thing, and you'll see that in the next thing I talk about. But, yeah, these were actually uploaded on the Sounds resource by Chaofanatic. but none of them were named. And, you know, if especially if it's a voice, you want to find the exact file of what something says. You know, you want to find the, hey, I'll make you eat those words, or I'm the coolest, like you want to, or, you know, whatever. You want to find that specific voice clip. Well, I have some good news for you, my friends. I went through everything and named every single file of dialogue, every single one, except like the King Boom Boo and the Chao ones. I don't think the Chao ones are in there. Oh no, the King, just the King Boom Boo. Yeah, I didn't name those because they're just gibberish. But yeah, it was like over 2,000 files. It was quite a lot. This entire process, the ripping and the naming and everything, it took about a week. So yeah, everything, you know, all of each character's dialogue. Omo Chao took the longest. He has like 700 fucking lines. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I named everything, and that's what that download pack, the third link down there, is. So yeah, just have fun with that. And the final link you'll find is the link to basically the one-stop shop package of Sonic Adventure 2 sounds. It includes all of the sounds I manually recorded, and it includes the first link, the second link, and the third link. Basically, all the three things I just talked about are in this one big package. It's about a little over a gigabyte. And actually, in this one is something that is not in the other ones. You'll find the ripped music from the game. Now, you can find the music of SA2 anywhere online, but I figured it would be kind of a cool little add-on just to throw in the actual ripped music files from the game, like the actual files that are used. And there's actually a weird little Easter egg in there. So, there is a file used for the For True Story music, you know, the Sonic vs. Shadow in Space one, that boss fight. That file is called Boss 05, I believe. There's a Boss 05A, and I shit you not, it is the Sonic Generations remix of the Sonic CD song Stardust Speedway Bad Future Japanese version. I have no idea why that is in there. I have a feeling it may have come from a mod I downloaded, but I don't put anything in that folder, so I have no idea where it came from. But who knows, it could have. Either way, it's weird, and I like to think that someone at Sega was just fucking goofing around and threw that in there, because it's the only music file that's out of place. Anyway, that last link you'll find in the description is all of the sound effects that I hand recorded. It is all of the sound effects that I ripped. It is all of the voice files that are named, and it includes the music. So it's all of that all together in one package. Just download that and you have pretty much everything. The only thing keeping this from being a fully complete sound package of Sonic Adventure 2 is the lack of the Japanese voices. I tried ripping those, but it didn't work for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. Every time I tried to convert the files, it would come out as staticky and like garbled. And I think this happened sometimes before to other people too. So yeah, you can download those. So to recap, first link is the the hand-recorded sound effects that I put up in the last video. I'm putting that video on unlisted, but I'm keeping the link here. The second link is the download to all the sound effects that I ripped and named and organized. The third one is to the English voices used in the game. I didn't rip them, but I named all of them. And the fourth is just all of the above included in one, and the ADX converted music from the game. So to briefly go over how I did this, just in case anyone is wondering, basically, there are the sounds are stored in sound banks, and that is like, it's basically a folder acting as a file. It's a .csb file. Now, CSB isn't used for fucking anything other than this. So there's a program that unpacks all of the sound effects from that CSB file. So from the CSB file, you get .aax files, which you then convert to .adx files, and then finally you convert those to .wavs, WAVs, you know, common sound effect file extension, or common sound file extension. Now that whole process is actually really fast with the program. It's all in one. That program does it all. So it's actually really fast in ripping the sound effects. It's just the naming and organizing process that took so long. There was also a lot of duplicate sound effects. The way that each like folder in the game's data has their sound stored is basically any sound that can happen in like say a level will be there in a sound bank. So that means like the sound effect for an enemy exploding or something is going to be in pretty much every level. So in the ripping process, you can actually tell what sound banks are just complete copies of others in other locations, so you don't have to rip them. But in some, like for cutscenes and stuff, there are a lot of duplicate sound effects, and there still actually might be. I went through and tried to get rid of as many duplicates as possible, and yeah, and I also put those sounds that got split up together, some of them anyway. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to know more about the ripping process, you can ask me, but yeah, I just wanted to do a video on it because I thought this warranted some narration. This whole project has taken me just about a week. And I am going straight back to work on episode 23. The reason I stalled production on this episode to do this is because I'm probably going to use a lot of these sound effects in the episode, and I didn't want to have to rename them and have them, like, have to be renamed in Vegas and find the new files. It would have made it a big hassle, so I just wanted to do it all and get it out of the way and go back to the episode stop motion. It is coming, guys. I'm working on episode 23. I'm actually going to delete any comments that ask me when the next episode is, because I don't know when it is, but I'm working on it. Please, please just respect that, alright? So, yeah, there are some sound effects to download if anyone cares. If anyone wants to make fan games or flashes or stop motions, there's all those sound effects in the description. So have fun with those, and take care. Thanks, guys.